Good afternoon. It's December 12th, 2005. I'm Mayo Livingston, and this afternoon Tom Bush and I are recording the military adventures of Jack Wingate. Jack, I believe you're in the Navy. When did you join?
I joined in 47, and they wouldn't take me till spring of 48, I believe that's right.
You had to be 18?
Had to be 18. I got my mother to sign for me, but they wouldn't take me till I was 18. They didn't have no room to sit. And man, that was something. Took me to Jacksonville, Florida. You ain't never seen such nice folks in your life. Just wonderful people. I stayed in Jacksonville overnight, and they had enough to put us a company together, half a company in Jacksonville. They put us on a train for Chicago, Great Lakes Naval Training Center.
And that's where you did your basic?
No, they didn't have room for us, and I thank the good Lord that they didn't, because they had us in a hotel about 4 blocks from the depot, and we walked up there in snow and sleet and ice. I left home, it was summertime. A little pair of thin breeches and a pair of slippers, 2 changes of underwear, and didn't even have I had a light jacket, just a light, they told me, said you need to take a light jacket. Had a little old light jacket, and we got up there, they didn't have no room for us, and I was so glad of it, I didn't know what to do. In just a little while, they made up another troop train, and they sent us to San Diego. And everybody had been so nice to me then, just this, that, and the other, you couldn't. And we hit that railroad station in San Diego. And that great big old chief, biggest door out yonder. And he had gold hash marks. When you got gold hash marks, you ain't never been court-martialed. 36 years of gold hash marks.
On his sleeve.
On his sleeve.
And then probably.
And his chief's marks up here. All right, you GD SOBs, get out here, line up right now. Yonder I was 2,000 miles from my mama, and he done cussed me bad. Lord have mercy. I sure didn't want to see my mama right then bad. But my daddy and my mama both said, you going in there, you go stick it out now, you ain't coming home. So I gritted my teeth and bared it, and we squared off in front of there. He said, y'all are the sorriest looking bunch of pot-bellies, no good. How in the name of God am I going to make sailors out of you in 90 days? He says it can't be done. And he was just about right.
How many of you went on? What did you do? Break off in the company?
Yeah, we had, I was in company 144, and we had 4 platoons, about 50 men to the company, and there was 2 companies of us. And 50 or 60, I can't remember now. Well, we slept downstairs and the other company slept upstairs in the barracks. And I ain't never washed the clothes in my life. And here I was out in the back, first thing they did was cut our hair. I mean, cut it. It was just as bald as that right there. And in San Diego, it's hot. It's hot. Even though you can look up on the mountains to the east and see snow on the top of the mountain. It ain't no snow down there around San Diego. And we took basic training in San Diego. 90 days of it. I got an enjoyable thing happened to me there. I was outshot the whole company. I got a 72-hour pass for that marksmanship shoot. But I had always had a rifle in my, you know how you had a rifle in your hand when you were growing up?
What'd you have? The M1? Oh, the spring?
No, it's
bolt action?
Old Free Springfield.
Yeah, bolt action.
Bolt action. And but we had to go from San Diego up to the Marine base, Camp Pendleton, I believe it was, to do the shooting. Stayed up there a week. And then they brought us back in buses. But I enjoyed that. That was the best time I've had since I've been in there. And it was nice. Got a 72-hour pass. Went to town to the YMCA and got me a room and stayed me 2 nights, and I just slept and eat and slept and eat. And it was good. It was very, very enjoyable.
Compared to
The rest of what I've been, you know.
they get you up in the morning.
Well, you get up at 4:30
Yeah.
and get ready. And then you jog, march to the mess hall. And then you stand there nearly an hour till they let you in. And then you go in and the man there says, take what you want, but you go eat everything you take. And he's looking at you. You know that?
And you had a lot of chip beef and toast.
Chip beef and
The gravy. You know,
the gravy, yeah.
Y'all had the same name for what we did.
SOS and
You had to have cream of wheat.
you had,
Cream of wheat?
yeah, we had cream of wheat instead of grits. And every time I'd get my cream of wheat, I'd pour my eggs in it, stir it up, salt and pepper it. Yeah, and I enjoy, I like the food. I was always used to eating whatever we had on the table, and it didn't bother me.
Well, did you get your training and the naval and boats and anything like that while you were there?
Yes.
Oh.
We got boat handling, and we got, let's see, 2 or 3 different things we had to do. And tying knots, we had to learn how to tie every cockeyed knot there is in the Navy. And signals, we learned the signal, learn Morse code, a little bit of it, just a touch of it. But then when we got on into the next school, there again in San Diego, we had to learn it good. And
That's when you went to sonar school?
yeah, I went to sonar. In sonar school, we had to learn radio, radar, voice radio, and signals.
You say signals, and you mean the semaphore type?
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, that was hard for me to remember, but I still remember some of it.
Where you move the flag
Move the
this
flag
way.
this way and that way.
There you go.
But
Well,
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, what, did you go in the submarines then?
I did, we had to go into the submarines, that's part of it. They had a submarine docked at the end of that, end of our pier at the Fleet Sound School. And we had to go down in that submarine, but you know, I didn't like that. We had to go down in there and study what we would, and look at their equipment and sit in there and run the submarine sound equipment as if it was our own on the surface. And I couldn't take that. That's too tight for me. I just couldn't stand that, being down under there. You don't get to bathe, you don't get to, and you're the same temperature as the water is outside of it.
So they put, you got out of the subs.
I didn't want, I could have went in sub, they give me I don't want that. They also offered us underwater demolition. I didn't want none of that after I found out how long you lasted.
So what, you went sonar, but you on destroyers?
On destroyers. Anti-submarine warfare, working with blimps and carriers. There was 4 of us trained. We were trained to stay around a carrier. And when they started launching planes, one of us dropped out and dropped right back up under the back end of that carrier. So we could look up like this and see that in case one of the pilots missed and fell in the water, one of our boats, one of our people would pick him up.
Did you have any to do that?
Only one. And that was that was an accident. That was up in the North Atlantic. On a maneuver, we was up there, and we just couldn't get to him fast enough. He froze to death. You know, you ain't got but about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
8 minutes and you're gone.
Well, in North Atlantic, you went,
I was in,
but
went out into what they call the Outer Banks.
off Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Well, after you left, you were trained at San Diego on a destroyer, and you started operating then off of Catalina.
Off of Catalina Island. We could go out and they let us anchor out there on the south side of Catalina Island, and that's where I had to get my fishing in wherever I went. I pulled them old catfish up and down there. They'd be squealing, and the eyeballs would be spudged out, and all the stomach would be coming out the mouth, you know, but I was catching fish.
What'd you do with them, Jack? Could you eat them?
Well, some of the folks would eat them. At that time, I was enjoying the regular food, but they'd come back there and pick them things up and go up there to the galley, and them cooks would skin them things out right quick and fry them. And I ate some of them, it wasn't bad. But now I later on got into a drove of fish in Long Beach up under the pier, and I caught enough fish to feed the whole ship, 150 people, under that pier. That's the biggest thing I ever seen.
How long did you stay in then? Were you in the Navy when the Korean War broke out?
I was, yes. No, they turned us loose. After they stayed in 2 years, and they didn't need us anymore. They cut back on the thing, and I hadn't got home hardly no time before they called me, and Mother and Daddy comes, and I believe I was in Bluntstown or we War Hitchcock 1 working. They done got out and working for the pipeline company, Southeastern Pipeline. And we was working, man, oh Lord. I weighed about 165 pounds, I reckon. And we cut bushes from the Newton station in Newton, Georgia, with a sling blade all the way and walked into the water at Fort St. Joseph in the heat of the summer.
Well, you were glad to get called back.
Yeah, I was sort of glad to get back in.
Yeah.
But that Harwood was a great ship, I'm telling you.
Now, that was a ship when you went back in.
That was, no, that was the first ship I was on. That was the one that we went all the way around there. Every ship I went in, got on, went straight to the Panama Canal, and went up and went on the East Coast.
The Harwood did that. That was your first year.
That was the first year. And I got home about 2 years after I left. And they called us right back in. Mother and Daddy drove up down there and said, son, you better read this thing. She said, I don't know what it means, but it's official, you better read it. And it was a notice that I should be in Macon at the federal building on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. Well, this was about Tuesday or Wednesday. I said, well, I don't see no reason to go home now. I'll just work home, finish out this week, and I'll be home Friday evening. And then I'll make plans to, at that time, there was no bus there. We had to catch a bus. There wasn't no way to get there on a train. You had to go clean around Cape Horn to get there by train, but the bus freight left here Sunday afternoon and stopped at every little town from here to Macon. And I got there just in time on Sunday morning to make it from the bus station. I walked to when I got there, I guarantee you there's 500 people standing around that federal building waiting to get in, 10 o'clock. And them folks, now all of this was done without a computer. Little women sitting in there writing notices, writing letters, and arranging this and arranging that. And we had, at 10 o'clock, they started us through there giving us shots, brand new shots. All right, well, by 5 o'clock, they had us run through there, and we got out that big wide street there in Macon. I don't know what the name of it is.
Cherry Street.
Cherry Street, and marched. We counted off, and there was about 500 of us. And we right-faced and marched down that street and did a left turn and walked to the depot.
Now, all you guys have been called back.
Yeah, everybody was.
The war had broken out in Korea.
Yeah.
And y'all are still in the reserve
Subject to being called back in. And we was called, and we got back in too, right quick. We went to Charleston, overnight train trip to Charleston. We didn't have bunks on that one. We just had day coaches. And we spent the night sitting in day coaches, if I remember right. And I think we went to Savannah first and then right on into Charleston the next day. And they unloaded us and marched us from the depot down to the barracks. And there we spent one of the coldest nights you ever seen in your life. There wasn't no windows in the barracks there. It's been empty since World War II. Empty about 5 years, and then kids had busted the windows out of them with rocks, most of them. Some of them had windows in them, but it was pretty darn cold in there. But they fixed that the next day, so after we got there, they got a crew in there and put their windows in there. And we stayed there just about a week for re-indoctrination go here, do that, be yonder, do that, fire control, getting caught up on fire control, getting all the shots you have to have, and reissuing us new uniforms. I had just left, if they'd have told me I'd have had my uniform, I had all of them I needed, but they didn't tell me. And, well, we caught another troop train, with this one had bunks in it. And I called Mother and Daddy, I got a chance to call them and tell them that afternoon, whenever we was fixing to leave Charles, and I said, we'll be in Bainbridge, right where Stones is at now, at the old depot there. I said, I'll be in Bainbridge about such and such a time, and sure enough, they were sitting there. And this old boy,
Did the train stop?
the train stopped. We had something on what he stopped for. But I'm gonna tell you something. There was a drunk man in there, an old salt, that had lost his false teeth in that bed. And he cut that bed all to pieces. He tore that thing up. And you ain't never heard of, he done some cuss words I ain't never heard. And Mother said, son, is he all right? I said, yeah, Mother, he's all right. He's just mad because he's drunk. He's lost his false teeth. Daddy says, more power to him. He didn't like false teeth either.
Well, did he find them?
No, he never did find them. But he tore that bunk all to pieces. And finally, he put it all back together and crawled back in there. And I don't know what happened to his teeth. He was in there somewhere. But he was some cold-minded. Yeah, he was poor in that bed.
You left Charleston, Savannah, and you went through here going west.
Going west, we went to Montgomery and changed engines there. We sat on the side track there overnight and changed engines there and hauled buggy to the west coast again, right down there at San Diego. And I caught the Tucker. The next ship I caught was the Tucker. And it was an older model ship and didn't have the, by the way, that first, the Hardwood was the first ship that ever had air conditioning. It had air conditioners for the computers. It had a computer room and the sonar room where we operated had air conditioners in it. You could lay a soft drink up there on that thing right there and it'd be about freezing. Where them pipes was at. Oh, boy.
But the Tucker didn't have anything.
Tucker didn't have nothing. It was a scow, I'll tell you. But right back to the Panama Canals on it, right back up. And we went into the Philadelphia Navy shipyard. And there we stayed. Went in dry docks till they could fix it.
You were still trained as a sonar?
Yeah. And while they were fixing that, the Tucker, with all the modern equipment that they could get, we had to brush up on all of our stuff that we knew, the voice radio, the Morse code, the signaling, and the quartermaster, and bosun mates and stuff like that. We had to do all the deck rates. We had to be efficient in all them deck rates. And they put you through a pretty rough schedule there for a while.
Did they ever put air conditioning on it?
No, never did have air conditioning.
You didn't need it by then, did you? You weren't.
No, we had better sonar than what what some of the other ships had, but it wasn't the finished stuff like the Harwood had. Excuse me for yawning, but I I just got to sleep on the day.
But Jack, what were you making then? How much money were they paying you?
I finally got up to, I was making $60 then and sending 10 or 15 of it home a month.
$60 a month?
Yeah.
Things have changed a lot.
They have, you know what?
Well, why, did they ever tell you why you back in? I mean, what, the problem, right then the Cold War was on.
Cold War was on, and they finally realized that Korea didn't have no submarines,
Yeah.
so they put us on the East Coast to get rebuilt. And during that period of time, I went to the hospital, had a problem with guts. And I guess I had a fish bone in it, I don't know what it was. Anyway, they took me off of the Tucker, and I caught the Melvin. Right back to the West Coast, I went on the Melvin. And you know, that was tough. But I was looking at them boys coming back from Korea. Their feet froze and their fingers froze off of them. Hey, look at here, I'm glad I'm in this Navy.
Were these guys in the Navy or the Marines?
Marines, they was in the Marine Corps.
Where'd you see them?
At the docks in San Diego. And the ambulances down there unloading them. Good Lord have mercy. Some of them, both feet and both hands, hanging on the thing, froze. Fingers froze off, and toes froze off. Some of them had their feet froze. You know, they fought a four-way battle coming down out of that.
At Chosen Reservoir.
Yeah. And we had a boy, a neighbor come by to see me not long ago, was in that battle. They fought a four-way battle coming back out there, but they didn't leave a damn soul up there. Brought them all
They
out.
brought them all out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a stack up cordwood.
Yeah.
The,
And then let's see, that last.
that was in Philadelphia. Oh, no, San Diego.
San Diego, on the, I believe it was the Melvin. And, oh yeah, I forgot, one, on the Tucker, we were ordered to go to what is known as Point Setter, about 200 miles this side of Hawaii, 300 miles this side of Hawaii. And sat there, and we went around and around, and 5 miles this way, made a half turn, 5 miles back for a solid week. And that's when Truman went over us and went out to fire MacArthur,
Wake up.
wherever they were at. Yeah.
Well, did you know what was going on then?
They told us after it was all over. They had to send, we was low on fuel.
Oh.
They had to send a Russia tanker out there, but they had destroyers lined up right under him all the way over.
Well, going back to, real quick, what ship were you on when you were at Newport, Rhode Island, Narragansett Bay? And
I was on that was a harbor.
okay, that's when you went to Long Island Sound.
Yeah, that's when we had him that submarine up in there.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, we was coming around, bit on maneuvers out there on the banks, and coming back in around Block Island, and two of us hollered at the same time. Me and one of the other ships hollered at the same time. Sonar contact. And we had a submarine. We knew it was a submarine because he was moving. There wasn't no whale. Whale wouldn't give that kind of sound. The sound business in sonar, you learn to identify what's a shrimp, what's a whale, what's the porpoise, and all of these things by the sound that you hear. And we knew that that was a submarine, and we followed him, stayed away from him, and followed him right on into Long Island Sound. And there he lay down on the bottom. And they called it in. Our captain called into Newport, and they called the Pentagon and asked what to do. And this Cold War business was pretty tight. And he went in there and lay down. He could have knocked New York City off the map with what he had on there.
Y'all knew what he had.
Yeah, we knew he was.
And you knew he was Russian. He wasn't one of
It
us.
wasn't one of ours. That's what we checked. We checked, and no American submarine was in these waters at that time. They were submarines, but they wasn't where we were at. We've been operating with them out there over the bank. But they didn't know what to do, so they called the captain at Atlantic Dispatch, called the Pentagon and asked what to do. And we stayed on him, just sitting there, maneuvering. Every now and then we'd have to back up, the wind would move, and we'd have to keep maneuvering. Before them destroyers had it, we could have sunk him at any given time. And they said, back off of him and let him come out of there. Boy, that did make us mad too. So that's what you're trained to do. And we had to back off and let that submarine come out of there. And he didn't come right out right then. When we got clean away from him and he couldn't hear our propellers nowhere, he had eased up and he eased on back out and went back out and got in real deep water and left.
He never did surface.
No, he never did surface. I would have loved to see what he looked like, but I just don't know.
You might have started World War III.
That's how close that would have been.
But when on your sonar, you couldn't get the outline of a vessel on the sea.
No, but not then. They got it when they got it now.
Yeah.
It can tell you exactly what it is, how fast it's going, and it's so much simpler now.
Is that when you went on up to Back Bay?
That was the trip that we started I believe it was the next day, or a few weeks after that, and went up in Baffin Bay and Davis Straits. We were going to come out and come around Greenland, but we couldn't make it. It was too shallow. That carrier has an awesome amount of depth to it.
Now, you already were working alongside the carrier.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all want to support. It was just more than your destroyer.
We had, on that trip, we had 8 destroyers. 8 destroyers, and a cruiser, and a carrier, and a tanker.
Yeah, okay. Well, is that when you went on down then and came back down to Rhode Island?
We'll come back down into Rhode Island and went into Narragansett Bay, and that's where we saw the old actor. I forgot his name. He turned the sailboat over. Our skipper sent our whaleboat out, our captain's dig out, our whaleboat out to get him and rescue him. And dog, he didn't set us up a ship's party somewhere. I forgot where it was at.
Who was the actor, remember?
He was one of the old actors, like Vincent Price or somebody in that field category. A well-known actor, but he was out there in that sailboat, and that Narragansett Bay, you have got just a minute, not more than 10 minutes, when the tide changes, and starts to flowing. It ebbs and flows right there. That whole bay fills up right through that gap. And it's a big bay, that thing's 10 or 12, 15 miles long and deep. And
Well, it was worth it though to get him.
yeah, get him rescued. And it was just, we just happened to be there, and that tide happened to be dead at that particular time. But it don't happen, but
Who, were you on the hall with them?
yeah, that was a hard one. We were anchored down at the War College. We had to operate at the War College up there in Newport, Rhode Island. They had simulators in them rooms, and that's where I met Doc Blanchard and Glenn Davis. They were in the same room, and they were Army, but they were working in the War College. They had to work with us, I guess. I never did understand how they fitted into the Navy on sonar, but they did, somehow or another.
Well, you went out to Bermuda at one time.
Went to Bermuda on the next trip. We went out to Bermuda, and that's when I caught the mumps.
Yeah, okay.
And they quarantined the whole ship, wouldn't let a darn soul on that ship go ashore. But the people that took us, the doctor and the medical people took us out on stretchers, took two of us. There's 5 of us they thought had the mumps, but only 2 of us actually had the mumps. And they put us in Bermuda in the hospital. And 30 days later, the ship come back. Well, we was out of the hospital in about 5 or 6 days. We got over the mumps and all. And we got liberty to go ashore. And them boys on that ship cussed us. I'm telling you, they laid one on us about that.
Well, did you go fishing out there?
Yeah, caught some beautiful crab. What do you call them things? Oversized crawfish. Lobster.
Yeah.
And evidently this warm Atlantic current keeps them. Anyway, we had lobster.
Yeah, I bet they were good then.
They were. I enjoyed it.
And then from there,
They took us back to Newport and turned me loose.
that was 1952.
Yeah. And
They kept you in the reserves.
kept me in the reserves, and that's when they called me back from down at Bristol or Weewar Hitchcock 1 and come home and had to go to Macon. And then we went to Charleston and back to the West Coast again. And it took me out that time at Charleston, at the hospital up there. Still had something wrong with my stomach. And they took me and I missed right back to the West Coast again by myself on a train ticket, caught the Tucker, right back to the Panama Canal, right through there, right back up the East Coast to I believe it's Charleston Navy Shipyard at that time. And stayed there until they finally let us out.
Let you out of service.
Yeah.
What year was that? 52?
That was fall of 52.
Well, the war.
Winter.
Oh.
Let's see, I got home about 10 days before Christmas. And I brought $500 with me home. Man, I was standing watches and washing folks' clothes. I had $500 and $20 bills taped to my belly right here. And I hitchhiked home. Sure did.
Well, you told me about some of your ancestors that walked all the way from Appomattox to Fayetteville.
That's right.
After the war, after that war.
Fausto. Yep, that's he's buried at Cool Springs, and then Bill Bates. He's buried at Cool Springs out there.
But you hitchhiked in from,
Hitchhiked from Charleston, which is right across the bay from where he was from Norfolk, that's right. But he walked all the way from Norfolk. No, they called a cattle boat from Norfolk down to Savannah.
yeah,
From
that's where.
Savannah. From Savannah, they walked the railroad track.
You told me about that guy. And that ended your career.
That ended my middle. I told the good Lord, I said, if you would just let me get home, I won't bother you no more about leaving down there. And I ain't. I'm so dang glad to
By the time you got home, they had backed up the water, hadn't they?
and they had started backing the water up in Jim Woodruff Dam. And me and my wife, she's from Oklahoma, and we had to go across Lake Texoma, a causeway there. And them folks, I ain't never seen so many folks around a fishing home in my life. Of course, it's different out there. There wasn't no water then. And I said, Joyce, we got to pay attention to this. And I got a chance to get that. I made a deal with Byron Johnson to get that landing. And it took me a lot longer to get folks coming down there than I thought it would. But we finally got them coming and enjoying it. God knows. Folks had asked me, when you gonna retire? I said, retire from what? Yeah, go fishing or go hunting. Go to town when I want to. And I'm just tickled to death to be at home and be alive.
Well, Jack, you've been a wonderful citizen of our county, and I want to thank you on behalf of the American people for what you did.
Thank you, sir.
And that
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I did.
And thank you again.